Well, if you're looking for a good time, the end of June, you need to check out what the American Legion Post 47 is doing in Ponchatoula. Stay tuned to hear all about it. Hello and welcome to North Shore Talk. I'm your host, Beth Davis, and we've got an exciting event, actually a whole day full of events to talk about right now. My first guest today is Mr. Joey Drude, and he's a volunteer and also a member of the Lions Club in Ponchatoula. But we're actually talking about some great all-day events that are going on for the American Legion Post in Ponchatoula. Welcome, Joey.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, tell us what's going on.
We're putting on this fundraiser to get our Legion back up and running. We want to do some renovations on the building, and we just got a bunch of little things that turn into a big thing that we need to get done. And we have some ladies from the auxiliary over in Albany, Springfield, and the Hungarian settlement ladies. We're going to be cooking Boston butts and baked beans and serving them with coleslaw for $7 a plate. We're going to have some inflatables there, things for the kids to do. We got Uncle Jake going to be out there playing music. We're going to provide some entertainment all day long at the Legion Post, and we will cut JR's hair about 4 o'clock that evening. This is what our schedule is, and
okay, stay tuned for that. We're going to tell you about cutting JR's hair a little bit later. Now, the American Legion Post, where this event is going to be held, is downtown Ponchatoula. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. 500 East Pine,
500.
right next to fire station number 2.
Okay. And so you're inviting people during the afternoon, come out and buy a plate lunch. Is that right?
We're going to start serving. We scheduled to start serving at 11 o'clock, and hopefully between 11 and 1 o'clock, we'll run out of dinners. Everybody is helping us with this thing. We got the Rotary behind us. We got Kiwanis behind us. Strawberry Festival Board's helping us at the Lions Club. We're all trying to come together as a community effort to keep our Legion looking good and keep everything going the way we all preserved it from when we were children growing up. That night at our Lions Club from 8 to 12, we're going to have the dominoes playing, and everybody knows the dominoes, just love them to death, and Lord knows I do. I want to tell the people that we're going to provide the food and the setups. They're going to have to bring their own bottle.
Okay.
We're not going to have no Crown Raw and all that kind of stuff, but we will have beer and stuff for our people that's there. And naturally.
Now that's the evening, and
yes,
that's at the Lions Club.
That night, yes, ma'am.
That starts at 8 o'clock.
Well, we're going to have happy hour. Probably actually start about 6:30, 7 o'clock, and then the band is actually scheduled to start at 8 p.m. and play to 12.
Okay, and this is a dance. The nighttime event is a dance.
Strictly a dance, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
They play anywhere from the 50s music up until now, and they cover a broad spectrum of music. Mr. Joe Bainey, he's actually was very instrumental in us doing it this way because he wanted to do something, and the guys in his band was wanting to do something. So we put our heads together, and this is what we came up with for June 28th. And anybody that want to come, bring their kids. We're gonna have something for them to do. It's just going to be a good old American Legion time, and a lot of the young people don't know that, but like when myself and JR grew up, that was a big deal to come to an event that they were holding at our Legion. At one time, that was the thing in Ponchatoula. The Legion was the biggest public building we had, but it's gotten bigger and things has changed. We get some support from the Budweiser people, and if I started trying to thank everybody, I'm sure I'd probably forget
Well,
some of
right.
those.
Well, you've
But
mentioned several groups, and that's the inspiration of this event, I guess, is that so many groups from the
yeah,
local Ponchatoula area are coming together to support
right.
this endeavor to do some building repairs on the
And
American Legion, which is a group of veterans, and we're hearing a lot about veterans these days and how all the different ways that we should and could honor them. So this is a great way to get involved personally and have a great time doing it. So we have afternoon events for the family, dinners. When you say Uncle Jake, that's Jake Drude
Jake
of
Drude,
the
yes, ma'am.
Rhymers Musical Theater, which probably many of you see that program on the station. So he's going to be out there with his group in the
and
afternoon.
I don't know all the bands that will be participating. I don't have that list yet, but we're waiting for a few confirmations on who will definitely be there with
So
it.
music all afternoon outside
Yes,
at the
ma'am.
American Legion building.
We,
And then the nighttime is a separate event.
yes, ma'am.
And is there a cost for the dance?
Our $50 a couple for our Domino's dance, and all the proceeds are going back to our American Legion Post 47. All the efforts at this point, whatever we do, is going back to our Legion, and we hope to get this thing going. If anybody knows where, I was told, and I don't know where to look first, maybe there was some grants that we could apply for to help our restoration on our building, and I'm interested in looking into that and see if there is something that we could do, and find out what we can or can't do. And
Well, tell us about an event you remember as a child at the American Legion.
oh,
because-
bingo was a big thing.
Bingo, okay.
I think it was Saturday night, if I remember, Grandma and them, and then you could always go in the back, and they had that little bar back there. The older guys, like Grandpa and them, if they didn't want to play bingo, they could go sit in the back and drink them a beer back there. They had beer on tap. And when I had got old enough to start working in business for myself, we used to go by and keep the beer cooler working. We had a couple of times we had to change a fan motor and stuff. It was a regular keg beer cooler, and you could always go in the back. The older guys, while the women was playing bingo, you'd go in the back and drink your cold draft beer. And it was a big deal, bingo was. And I wish there was a way, and I don't know if it's even possible, maybe get a bingo started back at our Legion.
But you remember it as just a great place to go
Oh,
as
it was
a
always
kid
good.
with your family and just kind of hang out with the community.
Back in them days, they would have weddings, birthday parties, and stuff like that, because, it was a big place and was able to accommodate a lot of people could sit down and do it. And this really brings back a lot of memories. My daddy, in fact, was one of the guys that worked on that thing when they were building it back in the 50s. From what I'm told, that was right about the time I came into the world, but Daddy and them said they were all there and built that thing with Leonard Kraft and that bunch.
Very good. Well, I sure appreciate you coming in and talking about this today. We're going to get another guest up here in just a minute, but you're working as a volunteer. I know the whole community appreciates your support
Yes,
in
ma'am.
getting the word out and helping with this. So thanks for joining us today.
I thank you for having us.
All right, stay tuned. We'll be back in just a minute. Well, you might be taking a second glance and thinking we've got one of the Robertsons here, but this is our own local J.R. Bardwell from Ponchatoula. Welcome.
Glad to be here.
All right, we're so happy to have you. Now we've got something going on June 28th that has to
Yes.
do with your hair and your beard.
Yes, we do. Along with the American Legion and the Dominoes and Ponchatoula Lions Club, we're going to auction off a chance of making me slick and bald like I was when I come out of high school. A lot of people are buying tickets and saying, no, we're not going to cut it because you ugly underneath. Really, I am ugly, but we do. This occurred, I started back when I worked with the Postal Service. Well, I was employed. I never did work. They said I never did work at the post office. I just was employed. But anyway, some 15 years ago, I guess it was, a lady didn't have no insurance in Ponchatoula. And I come up with the idea of cutting it all off. So we cut it all off. I had more contacts in because I was there at the Postal Service, and I stayed in Ponchatoula all my life. I've been a lifetime resident. I went out west for about 7 years, but came back to Ponchatoula. Ponchatoula is my home. The haircut came about when we decided to try to raise money for the American Legion, which is all proceeds are going to go. As Joey alluded to a while ago, you asked him something that happened in the past. During strawberry time, and this is at that time we didn't have strawberries in November as we have now. They didn't come in till what, Joey? April, May, June. So they would have a fair behind the American Legion.
They'd have a what? A
A
fair?
fair.
A fair.
A fair with Ferris wheels, just like the county fair.
And this is in the in November.
No, this was in early spring
Okay.
during strawberry season, because we all picked strawberries to make money. We didn't have no money. We didn't have a job, so we picked strawberries before we went to school, and our school went a lot longer than we did. I'm making a long story short. That's one of the things that I reminded about the American Legion. But to go with the haircut, at that time I made probably $7,000 for this lady that didn't have no insurance. And I'm asking all the people in the community that I've helped, personally helped, whether it be baseball, softball, track, Ponchatoula High School, Springfield, wherever, and all the veterans, and I am a veteran of the Vietnam War era. I did not serve in Vietnam. I was one of the lucky ones, the lucky 6 out of a big legion. We got to Fort Dix, New Jersey, and they said, first we're going to call out 5 names. The first name they called out, Robert A. Bardwell Jr. Oh, Lord, what I do now? You staying in the statesides. The rest of you going to overseas.
Wow.
And my whole group that I left from Fort Polk up there. Anyway, that was my time in the military. I served my time in the military. Did not have to go, and that has to do with prayer from my mama in the community. I get sentimental about it. Y'all forgive me. But anyway, the American Legion means so much in Ponchatoula to us, and seeing it falling in disarray, and a lot of you people out there know what happened to the funds in the American Legion. We're not going to go into that. It was a situation that happened, and it shouldn't have happened, but it did. So now we're trying to replenish some of the funds back into it to get the American Legion back up, open, where they can rent it again for weddings. It's a little bit smaller than the Lions Club. And that day we're going to have all kind of family day is what it is at the American Legion Post 47.
Now, before we forget, I just want, where do we go to get tickets for
Okay.
this, to cut your hair?
Okay, tickets are available at Paul's Cafe in Ponchatoula, downtown Ponchatoula.
Okay.
Of course, Paul's a supporter of us. It's also at the Ponchatoula Pharmacy on the corner of North Hoover Road and 22. Anthony's got tickets there. My number is 969-4096. You can call me anytime, day or night. Joey's is 969-2523, and there's tickets scattered there.
Now, so how does this work? You buy a ticket, then they're going to draw out the number?
We're gonna draw on the 25th, which is a Wednesday night at the Lions Club, so that it'll give you time enough to get your dull shears, Beth, and come down and cut it with it. If you win the ticket, you get to do the first shot.
Is that right?
If you want to take a swipe right down the middle, or you want to braid this and then cut it off, I got a little girl at Ponchatoula High School who wants to braid it before we do it. I'm scared to braid it because I don't know what people would think. Put little beads on the end of it and then cut it off that day. We were going to give it to Locks of Love, but it's not long enough to take that situation for a man's.
Mm-hmm.
If they bundled it up, it wouldn't be long enough. It's long, but it's not like a woman's hair that's long down the back.
Right.
Mine used to be down to my back line, but that was a few years ago.
Well, what's the story of why you have always had long hair and this
I
look?
left Uncle Sam's Army in February of '72. And I said at that time, I wasn't going to cut no hair.
You just
and wouldn't wear no shoes. You can't see my feet, but I don't have no shoes on. And everybody in Ponchatoula knows I don't wear shoes. I wear flip-flops, no shoes. What was the question again? I lost my train.
what was the story behind the hair? So you just got tired in the
I got-
Army? They made you cut your hair?
Made me cut my hair. And since I came back from the state of Washington, I went to work in the Postal Service in 79. So 78, I spent 60 years in the Northwest getting away from some of the things that I was doing in this community. I wasn't as good a little boy as I am now. We won't go into that
We're
detail.
glad you got it straight.
We
now.
got it straight. We got it straight. And I have a girl that cut my hair. I've only been one lady since I came back in 79 that's touched my hair other than Stephanie Majesty. And Stephanie worked in Hammond, and when she was going to school in Lafayette, ULL, the Raging Cajuns, they good playing baseball, and she would come on Saturday. Well, I would I'd trim it up about once every 3 months. Well, she left 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, and I hadn't had it cut since.
Just hadn't had it cut. So
Just-
this is
and everybody asked my mama, said, what's JR look like? She said, I don't know. I ain't seen him in a while either. But anyway, the hair is something in Ponchatoula. Duck Dynasty.
We got to wrap this up here,
Okay.
this segment. So give us one more time. Who are the two places? We'll put the phone numbers up at the other two
Okay.
places.
The two places are Paul's Cafe downtown by the big flagpole in Old Hardhide, and also Ponchatoula Pharmacy out on the corner of Highway 22
Okay.
and Hoover Road.
And how much are those tickets?
Those tickets are $10 to cut the hair, and some of them say they're going to give 20 if we don't cut it. So they buy 2 tickets. If they win, they say they're not going to cut it. We are going to cut it. It's
Gonna
going to
cut it.
come off.
All
It's
right.
going to come off, win, lose, or draw. It's going to look short for one day.
All
Then
right.
it'll start growing.
4 o'clock on the 28th, out there in front of the American Legion.
Right.
You can watch JR get his hair cut. Buy a ticket so you can have a chance to be the one that gets the first shot in.
That's right.
Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back. Our final guest today is Jack Catalinatto, and he tells me he's fairly new to the area, but yet he's the commander of the post in Ponchatoula at the American Legion Post 47.
That's correct.
And so we're going to get him to fill us in on all the other details we've missed so far.
Well, thank you, Beth. I'm very happy to be here representing our American Legion Post 47. I'm honored to be the new commander. Ron Cerisi has been our commander for almost 5 or 6 years, and he's finally stepping down. I'm a new member to the American Legion. I joined actually the state post because I was looking for the benefits, and when I moved here last year, some of my friends asked me to join. And so I did, and all of a sudden, I'm the commander.
Okay, tell because I've heard American Legion all my life, but I really tell us what it is exactly.
Well, it's an association of veterans of the wars the United States has been involved with. We have something that I think is very unusual in our post meeting hall, and that is the names of veterans in Ponchatoula who have died in the various wars. Going back to the Civil War, actually.
No kidding.
Yeah,
right there in the hall in Ponchatoula.
Yes. It's very impressive. My son's a photographer. We have asked him to photograph those names so that when we do remodel or rebuild, we're going to have those Hall of Honor, or Wall of Honor, I would call it,
Absolutely.
placed in the hall and to stay there as long as possible. So that's that's in essence. I think the Legion is almost 100 years old.
Okay.
And
That's the Ponchatoula Post, or
no, the American Legion itself.
Overall,
yes,
it's about 100 years old.
Yes.
And you have to be a veteran to be a member, and you have to have served during
a specific wartime.
Okay.
And we don't have that many World War II guys left, but we do have some. I'm sure most folks know that our big project last year was the Avenue of the Flags in the Ponchatoula Cemetery.
Beautiful job. Beautiful job.
It is magnificent. It's getting bigger every time we raise those flags. We raise the flags whenever the United States Congress has enacted a law that says that we should raise our flag, and we do it. We come out at 7 in the morning, and we raise at 7, and then we have retreat at 6, and we're going to do that every time, rain or shine, and it's going to be there. That Avenue of the Flags started years ago, and they used to have these galvanized poles that the folks the boys, some of the boys and men, the Boy Scouts would help, would have to haul these poles down and put the flags up, and some of these guys were getting so old they couldn't do it anymore. So the idea of putting permanent flagpoles arose, and it was quite a project. We asked folks to donate money to honor their family members. So all of those flagpoles are in honor of a specific family member who has passed away in the war.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
And you can walk down there and read every one of them. It's really nice. Our intent is to do some lights on those poles as well. Oh, of course.
Okay.
It was because the ancient order of Hibernians also was very involved in creating that Avenue of the Flags.
Okay.
I don't want to exclude
don't want to
anyone.
miss anybody. No.
And while we're talking about that, I'm just stunned by the involvement of the Lions Club. They just came to our rescue almost. We did have some financial issues that occurred, and our intent has always been to improve that building. The building has been there a long time, I guess back in the 40s and 50s, as was previously mentioned. It was at one time the highlight place to go in Ponchatoula. People would go for dances and bingos and circuses and the Strawberry Festival things. But it's an old building, and it needs repair or replacement. We have a wonderful location. It used to be a 2-story.
No kidding.
Yeah, we have a picture of it, and for some reason, I know there's a story behind that. I just don't know why it became a 1-story building, but nevertheless, and then they added a front portion to it, or a back portion. So our Boy Scout troop meets there. We have a wonderful, all the way to the back street is our property. So when we have this family day on the 28th, it's going to be real nice. We're going to have a lot to do for the kids, the inflatables and the face paintings, and hopefully we can get some clowns. And then, of course, to culminate the day, we're going to have JR's haircut at 4 o'clock. So rain or shine, we're having this function. Okay. And then in the evening, of course, we're having the dance with the dominoes. I'm looking forward to that. I know some of the members of the band, but I've never heard them since I'm so new around here. And I'm just excited to have that happen. And we're looking forward to just the community coming out and support us.
It sure sounds like the community's already involved.
Exactly.
So let's recap as we close out today. We're starting at 11 o'clock.
Yes.
With a great home-cooked dinner, barbecue, pork, is it like pulled pork type of thing? Or
I believe so, yeah. That's the way it's going to be.
That sounds
and these
really
ladies
good.
from Springfield and the Hungarian settlement have In Albany, they have
They can cook.
experience with this, yes.
love to do it.
So,
All right, so a great lunch. If you don't do anything else, go buy a lunch.
That's
But
right.
then you can stay around there with the kids, inflatables, face painting, all
Correct.
kinds of activities going on outdoors. And then get your ticket to cut JR's hair,
Right.
$10 at Paul's Cafe, downtown Ponchatoula, or out there at the pharmacy on the corner of Hoover Road and 22.
And the members, too. The members have tickets. If you run across a member, I have tickets, for example.
All right.
So you
Call
can
the
always
phone
get me.
numbers.
I work at Brandon Thompson Funeral Home. You can always call me and get me there.
Okay.
So
And then the big finale will be the dance.
that's correct.
With the Dominoes, the band playing the $50 a couple ticket. That includes food. You have
Yep.
to bring your own bottle, but it includes the food, includes the music. That'll be at the Lions Club.
Yep.
So lots going on for a really wonderful cause. The whole community's coming out, sharing some great memories from yesteryear and trying to restore the building for this wonderful organization.
That's correct. And we open to do this annually, having this family day. It's pre-4th of July celebration, and we're hoping to restore that atmosphere in the community.
Absolutely. Great project.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time on North Shore Talk.